Connor and I are going to make the electricity experiments. In this bag has everything that we need. I believe that we can produce everything in this bag for less than $20. Over here we have the new Popper's toolbox. This is a larger toolbox and I like it for several reasons. This toolbox will open up and give us a bench. Connor? The toolbox is filled with all sorts of tools and different science paraphernalia. We're going to build this project with raw materials, and I'm going to have Connor, a first grader, do most of the work. First we're going to put the legs on. While we're waiting for the superglue to dry, Connor's going to make the rotor. Okay, he put the first wing nut on, now he's going to put the next piece on. Okay, and then another wing nut is needed. Then we put the second wing nut on. Okay, the rotor's done. Now we're going to work on the frame for the rotor. Okay, using a hand drill, Connor's going to make some indentations in an aluminum bar. And as you can see, we have the indentations at both ends. Next, Connor's going to drill 2 holes all the way through the bar. It's aluminum, so it's soft and fairly easy, but I may help him a little bit with this part. Now the next part I'm going to need to do, I'm going to hold this at the edge of the table and I'm going to bend this aluminum bar. It's very soft metal and easy to bend, but it takes a little more strength than Connor, our first grader, has. I bent the frame for Connor, so now he's going to put the rotor in the frame. Next, we're going to make 2 electromagnets, and I'm going to help Connor hold the screws while he winds the wire. It actually helps to hold the screw with the hand drill. And Connor's going to wrap this wire around the screws. Now that we've finished wrapping this wire, we're going to put black electrician's tape around the coil. Okay, now let's see if this works, if it's really an electromagnet. Using the battery from the toolbox, we're going to see if this is an electromagnet. Ah, it works. Now we're going to make another electromagnet because we need 2 for the motor. Next we cut out a template and I helped Connor trace this onto a piece of sheet metal. Now Connor's going to make some cuts, but I'm going to help him with this at his age. Connor's using tin snips from the toolbox. I'm going to let him make the first cut, then I'll probably take over and make the last couple cuts. Good. Next, Connor's going to drill a hole in the sheet metal using the hand drill, and he's doing a good job, but I might step in and help him at the very end. Now, using tools from the toolbox, we're going to make a bend in this sheet metal. Connor's going to actually do the bending. Go ahead, Connor. There, good, perfect. Now that we've made our parts, the glues for our leg should be dry, and we can assemble our motor. Next, Connor's going to drill a couple holes in the wood. Good. Okay, and the next hole. There he goes. This is actually fast. There we go. Good. Okay, next Connor's going to put the screws in and we're going to fasten this frame to the board. Go ahead, Connor. Alright, I'll put the next one in. Next, Connor's going to put the rotor in the frame. We'll adjust it after we put the magnets in. Go ahead, Connor. Give it a spin. Good. Next, Connor's going to drill 2 holes for the electromagnets to go into. Oh, that's already in. Okay, next Connor's going to put the electromagnets into the holes he just drilled. Okay, now we do the next magnet. Alright, now we need to fasten it from the bottom. Okay, next Connor's going to put the hole in for the brush. Go ahead, Connor. Okay, now we're at the part where we need to wire it up. Connor's going to put the wire to the brush. Go ahead. And we'll fasten that down. Okay, Connor's putting the 2 wires to the 2 battery terminals and screwing them down. Okay, and now our motor works. There it goes. Alright, okay, now we're going to explain to Connor how the electricity flows. Okay, Connor, the electricity starts here with the battery, goes through this wire, and goes through this electromagnet, okay, to this coil, through this electromagnet, and then it comes back and goes into this, what we call the brush, which is actually a switch. Goes through this. Now, if we get close here, we can see that that's flat on one side, all right? So it's flat on one side. So when the brush is touching it, it turns the magnets on. And when the magnets get right here, it's not touching, the brush isn't touching, and so the magnets turn off. So it goes past. Magnets are on, and it pulls this to the magnets, and as it gets here, it turns the magnets off and lets this coast past the magnets, turns the magnets on, and it keeps doing that and going around. Okay, so electricity goes through here, through the frame, all the way around through this electromagnet and back to the battery. All right? So let me just give it a little push to get it started, and it'll go. Okay, Connor's making the transformer now. He just wrapped a very short piece of wire around the screw. We're going to tape that off, and then we're going to wrap a very long piece of wire around this coil. A completely separate wire that's going to go in the opposite direction. Okay, now we're wrapping a very thin wire, a much longer piece of wire, around our first coil. Connor's using the hand drill so that we can wrap it faster. Okay, Connor's using the drill so that we can wrap this faster. I'm holding the spool. Okay, next Connor's going to drill 3 holes for the brackets. Next Connor's going to put the screws in. We're going to mount this to our little table top. He's got 2 more to do. And 1 more. We had already cut these brackets out earlier, and Connor drilled the holes in them. Okay, with our brackets mounted, Connor's going to put the points in. Okay, he's installing the points. They're called points for the buzzer, and then we will adjust it and wire it up.